Hello, English 11 students, and welcome to week 10, the end of the first quarter. Please make sure that you have Canvas open in another tab or window. As always, everything you say, do, or type is recorded, so please remember to keep it school appropriate, and there's no saving, downloading, or taking pictures of our class today or ever. If you look at our agenda, for those students who did the coffee house activity, they will be entering a breakout room specifically for that activity. Everybody else who still needs to work on their narrative final draft will continue to work on that using the revision resources that I've provided to make sure that they can turn that in before the deadline of 3 p.m. on Saturday. So let's get started. Right? If you turned in the coffee house activity, you would go to the English 11 homepage, click this week's dates, click on the coffee house activity under week 9, day 2, and then you would open your video and or your final draft, and you'll be sharing that with Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith is going to be running that activity. If you were absent for today's class, you don't need to make that up. You got your credit for making the recording of yourself reading the story and turning it in there. And thank you for doing that by the deadline, which was 3 p.m. Noon on Wednesday. So midnight, It was midnight on Wednesday. Too many deadlines. For those of you who are still working on your final draft, you'll need to go to English 11, right? Go to our homepage, click on this week's dates, and then scroll up to week 8, day 1, and open your rough draft. Once you open your rough draft, you should just resume your editing, which I'll go over with you in a minute. And then after you're done kind of making all of the changes to your rough draft and you're ready to turn it in for your final draft, you can find the actual narrative final draft document and assignment under week 9, day 2. Okay. So remember, right, when it's time for you to turn in your final draft, you don't just copy and paste it and then hit submit. You copy and paste your story in the box, and then you have to highlight the different items that are required for your story. Right, that important conflict in your story should be highlighted in orange. Those 3 lines of properly formatted dialogue in your story should be highlighted in yellow. And then if your story has an ending where everything kind of returns to normal, you highlight it in blue. Or if the character's life is changed forever because of what happens in your story, then you highlight the ending of your story in purple. And as before, right, if you click the hyperlink for the sample, you can see exactly what that would look like. Additionally, at the bottom of that sample is that properly formatted dialogue sample as well. The resources that are available to you while you're working on those edits, right? And I will show them in this video, and you can pause the video and just kind of look at it and go back and forth and then resume watching. There are directions on how to use the voice typing. If you still have to get a large chunk of your story written, this is the fastest way to write your story, right? By talking it out and just saying it to the computer while it types for you. And then there's also the formatting dialogue rules and the sample that I gave you, which I just showed you on the previous screen, but I'll show you in a larger picture here. There are also proofreading videos to help you out, right? The proofreading help video and the formatting dialogue review video are the ones that Miss James supplied for us. And then the using Google Read and Write is the video that I made that shows you how to have the computer read your story to you so that you can listen for things that you know that you want to fix. And so for those of you who would need, let's get rid of that. For those of you who would want to use voice typing, these are the directions. Go ahead and pause the video here, read through and follow these directions to help you write your story faster. Okay, and then for those of you who wanted a sample of the properly formatted dialogue, this is the sample to work from, right? It has all 4 of those rules, right? Every time somebody is speaking in your story, a character is speaking, you put quotation marks around their words. You start a new line every time there's a new speaker, just like you see here. Always put the punctuation inside the quotes. So for example, the question mark went inside these quotes, right? The comma goes inside these quotes, the period inside these quotes, exclamation point inside the quotes. Okay, it always goes inside. And then whenever you have the attribution, right? Like this one, Calvin then replied, and then what they actually say, you have to put in that comma to separate them. Right? Whether that happens at the beginning of the sentence or the other way around, right? Anything but McDonald's, comma, quote, Calvin groaned. Go ahead and pause the video here and use this dialogue formatting sample if that it would be the most helpful thing for you while you do your edits. Okay, and that's it. Once you have completely finished writing the best possible final draft as you can, please make sure that you turn that in before 3 p.m. on Saturday. Remember, this is a 200-point assignment. It is the biggest assignment you have for the entire first quarter, and it can really make it a big impact on your grade. If you have further questions, you can access me for help from 2:45 to 3:15 during student support. Make sure you use the student support Zoom. Thank you very much, and good luck.